Alright, so we are back. I apologize again for skipping a lot of stuff, but there are a few things I want to show you to kind of get you up to speed. First of all, we got all of our poles up. We did the rim almost all the way around, top, middle, bottom, and we got a whole lot of these siding boards up too. The one side on the end is totally open right now. We haven't done that at all. But the big thing I wanted to talk about was the next step after we got all the poles up and the rim. Don't eat the ice, snow stuff. That's not good. I don't know if Brink can get a shot of this or not, but we cut some different logs. Actually, some of them are poplar, which is like not an awesome wood for outside stuff, but it's going to be covered, so I think it'll probably be alright, pretty much. We split these logs and put them across the top, right down the center for the ridge. And then they're supported halfway through by these two cedar posts that we put in. And then everything's all bolted together with 1/2-inch carriage bolts. The ridge beam or ridge pole, it's not actually holding the roof up entirely. We did these 6-inch 2x6 rafters, I guess you want to call them, and the bridge pole basically is like a temporary thing that's holding them up right now. The 2x6s come up, and then there's another board on each side to kind of tie them together at the top. And that board, I can adjust the height of it so that it rests right on top of that ridge pole. And it's a little bit different each place because it's not perfectly level. And to get the level about right, we put one of our pink mason twine strings across from end to end and stretched it tight. And that way, every time I put the rafters up, I was able to tweak the height of the rafters and kind of adjust them left and right to get them pretty much lined up with the string. And that worked pretty well until later when I decided that I needed to pull a wall in a little bit because it was leaning out. And those rafters where I pulled it in got pushed up a little bit. So I got to go back and cut them and readjust it. So one of the biggest problems that you have in doing a building of this type is the fact that the walls are not super strong because it's kind of a hollow shell, meaning the walls can get pushed out, especially when there's a load on the roof. Imagine weight coming down on a roof and trying to push the peak of the roof down. You get something that's called splay, which is the tops of the walls will want to push out. So to fight that, normally you would have trusses. So your roof is like a triangle shape. There's the two top parts and then the bottom part, which holds them from getting pushed apart. Well, I don't necessarily have that because I want to have a big, tall, open space in my barn. On this first like third of the barn or so, we put this loft up. And so I've got floor joists coming from wall to wall, and they meet up, and there's about 8 feet where they cross, and I bolted those together, and then they rest on this beam right here. So the weight of the floor is supported by the beam, and then I'm fighting the splay, or the tendency of the roof has to want to push the walls out. I'm fighting that with the floor joists because they go from side to side and connect the walls back together basically in the middle so that they can't get pushed out. Now on the other side where the roof is wide open, I'm gonna have to put a joist system in. Basically I'm gonna do like a makeshift thing as I go along, but I'm putting the joists in afterwards instead of having it all in one piece before when it goes up. So I'm standing up on my loft right now, which is great because it makes it easier for me to put this part of the roof up. I don't have to be on ladders or scaffolding or anything like that. There's two things I wanted to show you. One, you can see where when I pulled the walls in a little bit closer, these rafters that were already connected to the posts, the bottoms got closer, which pushed the top up. You can see this top, the peak on this one is higher than the rest of them, so I got to cut this and bring it back down to get it leveled up with the rest of them. So that's the job for another day. I wanted to show you how the roof is going to go up. All these rafters are going vertically down the length of the building, And then going across the rafters, we have these boards that are called purlins, and they're going to be spaced out, I don't know, every 6 inches to a foot or something like that. I put a couple boards in as spacers before I screw the next one up. And that helps me keep them like relatively parallel. Once I get these put up all over the whole roof, then I'll go and put tar paper over it and staple it down. And then we're gonna put boards back on top of the tar paper. It's gonna have like a board and batten roof, which is gonna be pretty cool and super old-timey. And it's also the cheapest way for me to do it. And then we can either paint the roof or stain it or put used motor oil on it or something cool like that. And hopefully it'll keep the water out.
Strong like bull.
That's it. Oh, hi there. Welcome to section 4 of the I Built That Barn video series. Sessions. Seriously though. We skipped like a whole bunch of steps because Bryn's been super busy with her camera, and then she broke it and she had to rent one. So, long story short, there's a lot of stuff that you've missed out on, but I'll try and fill you in. Right now I'm putting in the loft over this one half of the barn. We've got these floor joists going across, and they rest on this big huge log that I set up here and bolted in. I'll explain all that and how this whole system works, but we are actually putting the loft floor in right now so that we have something to stand on so that we can finish setting up these rafters for the roof and start getting this thing filled in. So, super cool. Strong like bull.
Why do you say that?
It's my tagline.